Sometimes, in order to teach people how statistics work, you need to teach them how they don't work. This statistic carries no value. I'll explain why. Number one, in order to blow a double-digit lead, you have to have a double-digit lead. Metrics like this artificially select for very good teams. We're not talking just about coach quality anymore, are we? Citing a counting statistic where a rate statistic is more appropriate is a huge red flag that the person using the data doesn't know what they're talking about. This post, the Ravens have lost 8 games since the 2021 season in which they had a win probability of at least 90%, has the same flaw. You're citing, again, a counting statistic. If we're going to use negative counting statistics to judge the quality of coaches, let's just go right to the source, wins and losses. No one in NFL history have lost more games than Bill Belichick, Dan Reeves, and Jeff Fisher. Therefore, they're terrible coaches, right? See, most people understand why citing the number of losses a coach has in their career is not an argument against the quality of that coach. They can pinpoint the statistical reason why. You're using a counting statistic instead of a rate statistic. This idea that someone who has blown multiple double-digit leads in their career is therefore a bad coach is just the same statistic repackaged with a smaller sample size. Quarterback wins and losses, much like coach wins and losses, are always misplaced, but the blame has to go somewhere, right? Okay, now if you're going to blame a coach for blowing a double-digit lead, logically you should have to give them credit when their team comes back from a double-digit deficit, right? Check out this article from 2021. Lamar Jackson is NFL's new comeback king, the first quarterback this season to deliver 3 comebacks. And of course this ignores the fact that wins and losses alone are a poor way to judge the quality of a coach. There are better metrics. But even if I were to grant for the sake of argument that this is a valid form of reasoning, it doesn't even stand up to that. I'll show you. Since 2021, the Ravens have won 43 games. It follows that in all of those games, at some point in them, they had a win probability of at least 90%. Those 43 wins, plus the 8 eventual losses cited by Benjamin, yields a record of 43-8 for a win percentage of 84.3% in games where they had at least a 90% win probability at some point. Not quite as compelling, is it? Now, before I show you this chart, you get my big ass head, one of the reasons sports are so entertaining is because of the small sample size. The favorite doesn't always win. If you're one of those people who watches sports solely to be entertained and you do not care about probability and you don't want to understand probability, stop watching now because what I'm about to say will cause you a great deal of discomfort. For those of you who do want to know better or who should know better, an observed loss percentage of 15%, an expected loss percentage of 10%, given a sample size of 51 is wholly insignificant to say anything about that coach beyond chance. If you want to argue against Harbaugh being a good coach, that's fine. This article does a wonderful job explaining it. But note, it does not use invalid reasoning to make the point. Hi, I'm Carl, and I hate when anyone, especially people who should know better, spread misinformation. If you are an absolute probability, what does this data mean, nerd, and sports aren't stressful enough for, let's talk political polls, baby.